Hi everyone, my name is Kari and I'm interviewing TEALC on October 16th, 2020 for the WiC Oral History Project. This interview is being conducted and recorded in a private Discord chat. The recording will be made available for anyone interested on the Black Dragons Discord in the Oral Histories channel. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
I am glad that you said yes. So there's been a number of people asking to hear from you. So this was...
And it boggles my mind that there's people asking, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, people want to hear your voice. So speaking of which, how do you pronounce your in-game name and why did you choose this name for yourself?
It's pronounced TEALC, which is fairly easy, but I started as Grey Worm. But when I joined Mad Alliance, I was already a Grey Worm there, so I decided to swap to TEALC because it was my favourite Stargate character.
Oh, okay.
Seemed to make sense at the time.
All right. And when did you start playing the game?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it was back in June last year. So I started in Kingdom 41.
Okay.
So a bit newer than some of the other people you've interviewed.
Okay, and what first made you want to start playing the game?
I honestly can't even remember. I think it was a YouTube advert, and I just saw it. And Game of Thrones had just finished, and was trying to fill some kind of void.
I gotcha. Do any other family members or friends play with you?
No one in real life.
All right.
But that's how I've become fairly good friends with a lot of the people I've played with.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I actually probably spend more time talking to them than most of my friends anyway.
I know, right? I kind of feel like a horrible friend. I'm like, I haven't talked to my best friend in forever, and yeah. So...
This game is unbelievably time-consuming.
It is, dude. Like, you don't realize that, and then you realize that, and you're just like, okay. And you just kind of accept it. So, speaking of which, you mentioned your first kingdom was K41?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. What was it like starting out on K41?
Well, I was only there probably 2 weeks. We started there, and I got sucked into sort of spending straight away. And I think I was 3rd place in the kingdom, 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
And the alliance I was in were the ruling alliance at the time, and they decided that they wanted to tell every alliance in the kingdom they couldn't farm anything higher than a level 3 node. So all the level 4 nodes everywhere were reserved for them, which...
What?
I didn't agree with them. And I ended up, 5 of us from the main alliance ended up leaving, attacking them, and then just leaving the kingdom.
Okay.
Because we didn't like the bullying approach, and we moved to 40, and I've been there ever since.
Okay, so you moved kingdoms. Tell me about it.
We swapped to 40, and I'd been there 5 minutes. My first experience with Kingdom 40 was being zeroed by Odin.
What? That was your first experience? Hello, welcome to Kingdom 0.
I ported in, and I was talking on World Chat, and then he just appeared next to me, and I was done.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay. What was your response to that?
No, it was funny. He was, even back then, Odin was huge.
Yes.
And no, I was just chatting to him on World Chat, and he ended up releasing my Lord after about 5 minutes, and it was good. Joined an alliance, and been there ever since.
All right, so what alliance is it that you joined?
I joined FBH. Well, back then it was Iron Island Alliance.
Okay.
And I spent I think probably 6 or 7 months in FBH, and then ended up swapping to Mad, where I still am now.
Okay, so tell me about FDH. What was your experience like there?
No, sorry, FBH.
FBH. Okay.
Yes. No, that was really good. They started there. I think I was about 30 million power, and then stuck there. We grew from a 1 billion alliance to I think it was 12 billion when I left.
Okay.
And I was still good friends with a lot of people there, and they're still in Kingdom 40 as well, which is great.
So, what was your role in the Alliance? Were you just a regular member? Were you an officer?
No, I started as a small fry and ended up being an officer and then Chief Knight. And then they decided to put me as leader while I was asleep, even though I told them not to do it.
Okay, please explain the situation that involved.
No,
that doesn't happen without purpose.
The leader wanted to step down because he wanted to spend less time on the game and more time in real life. And it was just as Corona had started, which was fair enough. And yeah, they asked me and I said, no, absolutely not. I don't want to deal with the diplomatic side of things. I like the fighting side, and I'm not diplomatic at all.
Okay.
And then I went to sleep and I woke up and had a mail saying, sorry, but you're leader. Like,
okay. Congrats, you're leader. How did you deal with that?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I filled the shoes of the previous leader, and I certainly didn't. The leader that took over from me, Snow, she's 1,000 times better than I ever was.
Okay. Why do you say that?
I'm not diplomatic in the sense. Like I enjoy the fighting and kind of aspect of the game. The spending hours in Discord chatting about Kingdom rules and what we should do and how things should grow and is not my style.
Fair enough.
I ended up just getting frustrated and annoying a lot of people.
All right. So, how long were you Duke?
Probably 2-3 months.
Oh, so a decent time
still. To Snow.
Okay. No, so it's still a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it was a while.
Okay.
But I did spend the entire time telling them who's taking over.
So, anything eventful happened during your time as Duke?
Not really. We had the Mad invaded Kingdom 40, but I think I was still an officer back then.
Okay.
But no, it was Kingdom 40's always been fairly peaceful, per se. Like we have a one war day a week, which not many people participate in, and it's unless someone invades, there's not a whole lot that happens.
All right, so what happened after you stepped down as Duke?
Well, when I stepped down, I swapped back to Chief Knight, and Snow took over, and she was fantastic because she's right into the diplomatic side of things.
Okay.
Well, I was there a little while, and then ended up leaving FPH to join MAD.
Why did you end up doing that?
There was quite a few reasons. The more fighting side of things, like my favourite part of the game is KVK.
Okay.
And I end up spending a stupid amount of time playing. So like when I start rallies or want to jump in on a rally, it was a lot harder in a smaller alliance because I just didn't have the amount of online people.
Right.
To always fill a rally at any given time. Whereas MAD's a lot more fighting orientated, and a lot of people like me spend a stupid amount of time on KVK. So we can always fill rallies at any moment.
So it was more a strategic thing than anything else.
Well, it was both. It was strategic and friendship as well. Because before Corona hit, I'd spent, as Duke and FBH, I'd spent a lot of time talking to Agana, which was the leader in MAD and the queen of the kingdom. And we ended up getting closer, and friendship bloomed, and we both had tickets to travel to Canada to see her, and she had flights booked to Australia afterwards to come for a holiday here.
Oh.
So we ended up spending kind of 6 to 8 hours a day talking on Discord, and so I ended up leaving FBH as well because I spent that much time talking to Mad and to her that I figured I may as well just be in the same alliance.
Okay.
But no, we had our plane tickets booked, and it was the week they closed the borders they closed the borders in Canada's first. then they closed the borders in Australia the week before I was meant to leave.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
So I was not happy at the time.
No, I imagine not. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we were meant to be in, well, I was probably lucky really. We were meant to be in New York when the worst of the coronavirus hit there, so.
Oh, that would have been bad, yeah.
Yes.
No.
Maybe a blessing in disguise in the end.
Hey, you have the future. You're good. So, all right, so you ended up switching over to MAD. How did that differ for you from FBH in regards to not just the social/war aspects, but the personalities?
Well, I think that the good thing about Kingdom 40 is a lot of the alliances, I mean, there's a little bit of drama at the moment, but normally a lot of the alliances talk and they're very open. And so, I mean, most people know most people very well. So, I mean, even if you jumped from, say, one alliance to another, I don't think it would be all that different because everyone seems to be almost that close anyway that you could just kind of slot right in.
Okay. So, you are currently still in MAD. You're still on
Yes.
the same kingdom, K40. Have you ever played on any other kingdoms?
Only the kind of small merit hunting trips, and we played a little bit in Kingdom 140. We started some alts there, but we're only there a couple of weeks. They didn't like us much to start with.
No, what do you find?
No, but
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
like 99% of my time's been Kingdom 40. I haven't ventured out to too many other places. I'm rather boring.
Well, I was going to ask, like, what do you find appealing about merit trips? Is it just because the kingdom's not that, like you said, there's only one war day and you wanted more war, or were you looking to just move up another merit level?
No, not really. I don't do war days in Kingdom 40 very often because I don't see the point in killing people in my server. Like
Right.
at KVK, I want people to attack and to rally, and I want other alliances to rally with us at the same time. So killing their troops seems kind of counterproductive to what my favorite event is.
Gotcha.
So all my merit has come from KVK and people invading us. Like very little of it has actually come from people in Kingdom 40. But I've only ever left 40 once with the main account, which was to Kingdom 77, but that was more a political thing. Like some of their members were sending us kind of like the trolling messages, and they were trolling us on World Chat and telling us to come there. And so I sent a small account to kind of argue with them, and they were like, "No, our king says come here, come bring your fighters, come attack us." So we did, and they were very happy.
How'd it go?
It was brutal in a sense. I think we made, across the 10 accounts that went, I think it was about 250 million merit in about 4 hours.
Ooh.
So we killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
But then they had one guy that just, I don't know how he did it, but we zeroed him and he dropped to 380 million, I think it was. And I had his Lord, and within 20 minutes he'd jumped back up to 800 million power. Like he trained and trained and trained, and he just trained like 15 million royals with no Lord, just on the spot.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, he had one of the blue dragons, so he was blockading everyone. And
oh wow, so this was recent then, if you got the blue dragon.
Yeah, this was only a couple of weeks ago, probably a month ago.
Okay.
But no, we stayed there for a little bit, did a siege. Didn't go very well because I lost my Lord, which is fairly normal for me. But he just...
Okay.
So, no, but we ended up leaving on, I think, fairly good terms. We were chatting to him in World Chat, and the con was like kind of thanked us for coming, and they'd learnt a lot, and I think they were bored as well because that's a fairly peaceful kingdom.
So, turned out to maybe be a good thing then.
Yes, in a sense.
Okay.
It was certainly a fun experience. But no, the moving costs so damn much in this game that I think it's probably a good thing though. I think it took me 9 months of saving scrolls to do that return trip. So,
oh wow. Wow.
It was 50 scrolls to go there and 25 to come back. 20 something to come back.
Wow. Okay. So let's see. How's your initial impression of the game changed over time?
It's, I don't know, I think everyone's going through a bit of a lull currently. Because I mean, when I started the game, it was really cool. It was kind of exactly the kind of game I was looking for.
Okay.
But it seems, I mean, over time, some of the new content they've added, it's been fantastic. Like the tavern and the refinement, I think, are fantastic for free-to-play players to increase their stats quite dramatically.
Right.
Especially refinement. But the refinement's definitely a step in the right direction.
Okay. So, what is your favorite part of the game?
Probably KVK and AC. Like even the recent one, where the no loss small merit KVK. We ended up being paired with Run in Kingdom 25, which was a good thing because if we had got them on a normal KVK, no one would have played. Because Savo's just insane. That account is ridiculous. But even that, like that was a lot of fun. We ended up chatting with Run a lot, and we did a lot of rallies for laughs in front of King's Landing. Okay. But no, definitely the more fighting side of the game is more fun. Apart from Treasure Seeker, that thing is just horrible.
Really?
So
you don't like Treasure Seeker?
If by chance the devs are listening, could you please take 30 minutes down to 15 on the goddamn level 5s?
Okay, that I'll agree with. Because I absolutely love Treasure Seeker. I'm like,
oh no, the rewards are fantastic, and it's another good free-to-play event.
It's a free-to-play event that gives you
and
controlled combat. It lets the people kind of test things out and learn about counters and all kinds of stuff, and you have decent rewards for actual participation. But yes, 30 minutes, insane.
Yes, it was a fantastic event when it first started, but
yes,
when it went to 30 minutes for level 5, it's you spend 3 hours a day staring at the screen just waiting for someone to pop a 5 so you can plunder it. It's just...
Yes, it does need tweaking. I will agree with that. So, what's your
the event itself is really good.
Yeah. What's your least favorite part of the game?
Oh, least favorite. Probably Weirwood Memories.
Really? What about that?
Just I don't know. It's just frustrating attacking those things over and over, and seems kind of boring.
Okay.
Like, it'd be alright if you could start at the highest level and not have to worry about the first 50 stages.
Oh, are you talking about the special event, Weirwood Memories thing? Not just Weirwood?
Yeah, the Memories,
okay.
the one that's just once a month. That's those.
Gotcha.
I think it's 75 stages.
Yeah.
And really, the last 5 stages are the one that matter.
Yes.
But having to do the first 50 stages of normal and elite before you can start on the epic ones just time-consuming and frustrating. I think with the game, this game, you spend so many hours playing. Like when new events come in and those new events take another 2 hours, it all just adds up so quickly, and you end up spending 6 hours a day just clicking the mouse on repeat every day to try and get all the rewards. I don't know, I'm one of those people that if there's a chat like an event or a challenge, a daily thing, I have to finish all of them on.
Oh no!
Big account.
You do every daily?
Yes.
Oh, TEALC. Please take your life back. Please take your life back.
I used to do it. I had 5 farms, 2 alts in the main. I was doing all the dailies on everything, and in the end I gave away a heap of farms and stopped doing it all the time on the alts just because the game was driving me crazy in the end.
Yeah, no, that's a huge time investment. I mean, I'm completely and utterly speaking from experience here. Don't do that to yourself. Like,
no, that's
okay. So I made the mistake of telling Millers that I didn't do refinement every day, And
Oh, that's something you have to do every day.
well, I didn't care as much just because I was just like, I am so burnt out on this. It's another new content. I don't want to work on it. And it really is one thing you really should do every day, but I was like, I just don't want to click.
Yeah, well, that, I mean, you get, I think even Elite's 300 and something refinement stone a day, which when the packs cost 1,000 black diamonds for 600 of them, like it's...
Oh, no, it's totally worth it. I'm just saying there's a certain level of burnout that you get.
Oh, yes. Like, that's the refinement's the only daily I do on the alts now. Like, every day religiously.
Okay.
Everything else I kind of just ignore.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, like, it's so easy to get lost in trying to maintain all those accounts, and the hours just tick by. So...
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's been plenty of times I've sat down at night time, like, finish work, kids are in bed, sit down at the computer, and you start doing your daily clicks and everything, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, crap, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, no.
Time just seems to vanish into a blur of clicks and...
Oy. All right, so tell me, what do you think is the key to a successful alliance?
Ooh. No drama?
Is that possible? I mean, is that a reality?
I haven't been in heaps of alliances, but I know Mad's got a very, like, we don't have a lot of rules, but, like, you know, some of our biggest rules are no personal insults on chat, no, like, try and keep the drama at a minimum, and it seems to work fairly well. Okay. But no, I think that, unfortunately, to make a successful alliance, you need a leader especially, but also an officer group that's going to spend hours and hours and hours every day reading every chat and being there and being accessible, and like it's an unfortunate part of the game, but time I think is what makes a successful alliance.
The dedication to it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Which is great for everyone in the alliance, but sometimes for the management team it can be rather draining after a while. Yes.
Absolutely. So what would you say is your proudest moment in the game?
Maybe my first... we did a lot of KVKs, and when I was in FBH we didn't rally anything. Like, a lot of my play was all solo, and because we just didn't have the people. Right. So it was my first KVK with Mad. I think my first ever rally that I did, I was 400 million power before I rallied someone.
Okay.
So it was the first successful rally, the very first rally I ever did on someone was a success. But not being crushed in my first rally was probably my proudest moment. Like, I was rather excited when it said victory. Nice. I was really nervous that I was going to kill everyone's troops.
Well, I'm glad that did not happen. Well, it can be demoralizing, and then some people just don't really try again. Like, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah, since then I've grown to, if I lose now and I lose troops, it's funny. Like, whatever, we can build them again.
Right.
But yeah, back then I was very nervous and paranoid about killing other people's troops, whereas now I'm not as bad.
Okay. So, tell me, who do you admire in the game?
Ooh. So I don't really talk to all that many people outside of Kingdom 40. But, well, I mean, a generic response from a lot of people would probably be Kynaston. The amount of work she must put in to keep that size alliance and that size account where it's at would be very, very tough.
Okay.
But I think anyone that can fight successfully in I suppose what we call them, the big leagues, like Kingdom 54 at the moment, would be a horrendous place to be.
Oh, there's no lack of combat there if you want it.
But no, I think when I was a small account, I'd probably say Odin at the time. The
Okay.
first 6 months of playing this game would have been the person I looked up to the most because he was the biggest fighter in the kingdom and he was the strongest. And I could always watch him and like look at his reports and try and learn how he fought to kind of teach myself the same sort of skills.
Did you ever reach out to him and ask questions?
And when he was in 40, I did.
Okay.
I haven't really spoken to him all that much recently. He's not a huge Mad fan, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think a lot of the people that I started with on Kingdom 40 when Mad invaded, a lot of people left, and when I joined Mad, I think they saw it as a kind of a traitor move because I was one of the original people in Kingdom 40 and one of the only people that joined Mad, or one of the only few since I arrived.
Okay.
I think there's still a lot of people out there that hold ill feelings toward Mad for what happened when they invaded,
But things have settled now.
the past is the past, and
Right.
I think it's just a game and everyone should just have fun. And
So, are there any special moments in the game that stand out to you that you haven't mentioned so far?
probably it's going to be very soppy and everyone's going to laugh at me and I'm probably going to get sent a lot of troll messages for it, but I'd say the wedding, like when they had the wedding system come in,
Okay, why?
that was good because I got obviously married to the leader of Mad, Morgana, who was the person I was going to meet in Canada. So it was kind of cool that we ended up not being able to meet and the plane trips were cancelled and everything, and they brought in the wedding system, so it was kind of like a little special moment in the game that we could share,
Right.
which was nice.
I
We
like
ended up
that.
having, I think it's about 100 people turned up for it, so it was good.
Oh, wow. That's a good turnout.
Yes, we had people come from about 10 different kingdoms there, so it was fun.
I like that. That's so nice.
We went in, and then afterwards we went and did we wasted about 100 teleports, but we jumped all over the map and took like honeymoon photos and stuff for a laugh.
How did that work? What'd you end up doing? Just screenshots of different places in the kingdom?
Yeah, we looked around before and we went and found like, little beaches and little boats washed up on beaches and went and like sat next to them and took photos. And
Oh, I love that. I love that.
there was about 20 people in the alliance formed like a love heart around us with their cities. That was kind of cool.
See, that's great. That's great.
So I think you can make a lot of your own fun in the game as well, which is
yes. As long as you have a good group with you, you can make a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing about staying in an alliance long term. Like you end up building very good friendships, and like there's a lot of people in Mad and in FBH that like I've played with almost a year now, and the amount of time you spend together is you form very strong bonds with people that you've never met.
Well, it feels like you've
nice.
met them, though. That's the thing. It definitely... It's not like where you're just chatting randomly. You have shared experiences together, and if you're using voice, then you have that additional connection. And no, people are friends. It doesn't matter if they're in person or not. The relationships are still real.
It would be quite strange to meet, because I've never actually met anyone that I've played games with online before.
Really?
It'd
Okay.
be quite a surreal experience to normally, because I'm in Australia, it's meeting someone that lives near me is very, very rare.
I know quite a number of Australians that play.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We've only got...
We'll have to
3 or 4
talk
in my
after
kingdom,
this. Yeah.
But no, it'd be a surreal experience, I think, meeting someone that you've spent years talking to and you know their voice inside out, and you'd meet them and they'd speak and the voice would sound so familiar, yet everything else would seem so strange.
Yes.
I don't know.
It feels distorted a little bit, but
yes,
the person is still real.
Oh yes, and there's the amount of time you spend with people, like just hundreds and hundreds of hours on Discord and, and voice and.
If nothing else, the relationships are real because the people are real, or the relationships are as real as the energy you put into them. I mean, obviously some people are not as upfront or honest about who they are online for whatever reason, and that is their choice. But the bonds that are created between people that truly want to get to know each other, to be friends, it's wonderful.
I mean, if you suppose this really crappy browser game, space game called Dark Orbit, about 10 years ago, and there's a guy I still speak to from there that lives in Texas. So if I ever make my way to America, I'll catch up with him.
Oh, that sounds
but
great.
Yeah, even 10 years on, like, you still speak to people that you made friendships with in games. And
oh yeah, no, one of my best friends, still one of my best friends. We used to play MUDs together, multi-user dungeons, pre-GUI days, and turned out we were just friends in game, and I found out they lived 20 minutes away from me. She and her husband, or her boyfriend at the time. So we ended up meeting up, and we would constantly be hanging out, and it was just pure luck. But this was over 20 years ago, and she is still one of my closest friends, even though they do not live nearby anymore. And yeah, the relationships are real. You make out of them what you want them to be. So. And
I think too, you can form really good friendships with people through games, because there's no hang-ups on stereotypes or like any other factor. It's just they have an interest, you have an interest, you bond over it, and you get to know each other.
Yes. The initial visual predispositions and the prejudices are not there.
Yeah. Yep. It's all out the window, which is why I don't know, I hate the diplomatic side of this game, but the social aspect is fantastic. Like, I don't think I'd still be playing if it wasn't for, probably 100 people that I'm in the kingdom with still currently.
Right.
Like, you have days where you just want to, like, nope, this game takes too much time. I want to go back to seeing what outside looks like, and then you just end up hanging around because of the friendships you've made.
Yeah. Nope. I get it. So, I'm going to say one last thing, unless there's anything else you want to include. What is the one thing you most want people to remember about you?
Oh, remember about me?
Yes.
Well, as long as it's something positive, I'll be happy.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what, as long as it's happy thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
I know I try to avoid drama and stuff in the game. So hopefully everyone remembers happy thoughts and not like, oh, I hated that guy. That would be rather depressing.
Dude, I don't think that's likely, but if there is somebody out there, it's just a game. He's a nice person.
Well, I try to be. I try not to. Oh, I'm sure a few people we've met in KVK probably hate me, but...
But that's the difference.
I'm sorry.
You can have opponents.
Had to win.
You can have opponents. They're not necessarily enemies, though.
Yes.
So.
I think it's also what makes that and no loss KVK so fun, because people do put so much time, effort, and money into these accounts to then have someone just come along and destroy all your year's hard work in 6.5 minutes is rather demoralizing.
Agreed. But at the same time...
But then again, it is a war game and people choose to play it, so it's...
Yes, plus invest your time wisely. Don't inflate your accounts with troops.
Yes, well, yeah. I mean, I'm still a zero castle, so...
Well,
I'll happily sit at a zero castle forever.
Well, that's the thing is, you don't even have to be a zero castle. Just don't make it crazy large and just ignore your research and your gear and everything else that is not transient.
Yeah, it's those accounts that are 500 million that have got 12 million troops. Every time we run into them in KVK, everyone's eyes light up and, whoa, perfect target.
So, is there anything else that you would like to include in this recording before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything.
Okay. Then I'm going to say thank you for your time, and I will talk to you on the Discord.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was an honor.